Hello wave shaving world, thanks for joining me again on StubbleMeetsSteel. Today I thought I would introduce everybody and myself to the Strop Valet razors. I had made a deal with a buddy quite a while back to trade one of these for this Parker that I had that I didn't really like that he wanted, and so I finally got this, and one of the things that it kind of excited me was I heard that you can do a gem blade hack on them, because they do take a feather blade that you can use in these, the FHS 10, which from what I've heard, they're about $1 a piece, and more importantly, they last about 2 shaves, and I've heard that the shaves aren't that great with them. If you can find ones with the original blades, the reason why it's called the Strop, for those that don't know, is you would open this up and you would put a leather strop through the back of this, and the reason why it has these cool little gears on the side here is that when you would put the strop in the back, you would hold the strop tight and basically come back and forth like this, and the head of the razor would flip back and forth to get both sides of the blade, hence the name Strop. And Gillette was so threatened by these damn things that they wound up buying this company out and making a merger with them. And so after you do the stropping, you can basically just flip this lever and it brings the guard in contact with the little blade stops, and the blade and everything lines up. So the tricky thing was on this particular one, this is called the VC2 or version 2, and you can see that there's these little punched marks basically right here in the top cap, and they prevent a normal blade from working. The original Valet blades literally had the word Valet cut into them, so they would fall into those particular notches there on the top cap and wouldn't cause any problems when you'd use the correct factory blades. Well, the feather blades, like I said, fit, or what you can do is you can take one of these gem blades and you take a pair of pliers and you hold the front of it, and I'll put a link in the video. Subie shaves, a bunch of other guys have done videos on these, and then you grab this little lip right here on the very edge of the blade, and you just kind of tweak it back and forth a few times with pliers, and it'll just pop right off there. And that's what they call despining a gem blade. It doesn't take long. Once you get the hang of it, it's very simple. And once you open it up, I'm not going to open this one up all the way, because you can see that the blade basically slides in there, and what I found is if you line it up with the bottom piece here, that makes the blade alignment pretty spot on. The tricky thing with this one is once you do this blade hack, what you have to do, I know purists look away, but I decided to hack mine, and what you do is on the inside, these little punch cutout things are all the way on the inside, and what you do is you just basically take a Dremel with a little grinding wheel or whatever, and just remove those little notches, so that way you can put the gem blades in there. You know, I understand from a purist standpoint, oh, you know, you're ruining a good razor or whatnot, but I feel that there's countless of these razors out there, and while I respect that, you know, don't mess up something that's antique and vintage, I feel that these razors should be enjoyed, and if you can do something to a blade or to the razor a little bit to make them useful, I say go for it. There's plenty of these out there. They range anywhere from about $15 to $25, maybe a little more if you want a case and whatnot. So, you know, do as you please. I respect both trains of thought there, but I personally didn't have a problem modifying this one, especially since I basically got it out for a trade on a razor I didn't really love anyways. So let's get going. I used this yesterday and I was pretty surprised how great of a shave it gave me. So I figured I wanted to use it again today. This particular one, like I mentioned, is what they consider the VC2, which has that bail that flips to the side there. There's other variations. This particular one, being the VC2, is made from 1928 to 1935 from what my research was showing me. I have another one coming that's a little bit older version, and that one you don't need to do anything to the razor. You can just clip the edges of the gem blades and they'll fit right in. So I'm going to do that on that one. Yeah, the trickiest part was finding out how far I needed to push the blade in or out to get it to line up and hit the blade stops, because there is little blade stops that hold the blade just like a gem would have, and you want to make sure those are lined up. I suppose if you wanted to make it more aggressive, you could do so, especially on this one. Sky's the limit as to what you do. All right. I think this gem blade maybe has, this is probably the third, maybe fourth shave on it. I guess some of the later production, what they consider the VS4 or the version 4, had a closed comb. I would have to think that one would be really smooth, because this one is very smooth. Even though it's an open comb, it's very smooth. The other one that I have coming should be a VS1 if I remember, and the handle on it's a little bit different. It's got different knurling, and then there's like grooves cut into it. All right, very nice. Very nice first pass. It's very smooth. I would say it's somewhere in the area of like a Rockwell 3 smoothness, but definitely like a 4-plate efficiency for sure. And I would say it has less blade feel than a Rockwell 4-plate, in my opinion anyways. I'd be curious if anybody has any luck using the stropper and the original blades. Can they be sharpened on a stone and then re-stropped? Because blades start to break down over time. So I'd be curious if there's anybody that's had any luck. You know, another channel I watch, CD in Vermont, VT, CD in VT is his channel name. He mentioned that he tried to get an OG blade stropped and sharpened and everything and didn't have any luck doing it. And I read similar reviews by a bunch of other guys. That's another reason why most people just try to either use one of the feather blades I mentioned or gem hack them. It'd be pretty novel if somebody can actually get the original stropper and everything to work. Yeah, I guess some of these in this VC2 version that are made in the 30s, since that merger with Gillette was around then, some of them even literally say Gillette on them. Pretty rare, but they are out there. And there's 10 different versions of these overall. But the easiest way to tell is you'll either need to modify them or use one of those feather blades. Is if it's got the style like this that flips open, anything like that is going to be something that you either need to modify or use a feather blade in. If you get one of the older ones, see how there's almost a tiny bit of the blade exposed? On the older ones, it's much, much shorter, and when I get it, I'll show you, but it's about a half of this diameter. The majority of the blade is exposed. So those older ones with the much smaller blade holder piece, you just modify the blades. You don't need to modify the razor in any way. So if you're more of a purist, get an older one and you don't have to do anything. You just clip the edges of the gem blade so that it will go inside. Subie Shaves has some of the best hack videos on these, or for any razor really. He is the hack master, blade hack master for sure. Forgot to mention, just using some Sterling Bay rum. Felt like a nice spicy scent today. I had a sample of this that I just wanted to finish using. This is the last little bit of the soap. And I have the matching splash to go with it. I like the Sterling's Bay rum. It's very clove forward, so if you're a clove forward Bay person, you'll love it. It's definitely one of my favorites. Rinses out super easy because this one's the open comb, as I mentioned. Barely pass it under the water and ready to go. All right, get cleaned up here a little bit. All right, let's spray down and see where we're at. right, very nice. I'm gonna take a shower actually, so I'm not gonna put any on after shaving stuff. I'll put that on after. So I have to say, this Auto Strop Valet really impressed me. It's very smooth, pretty forgiving, and lower blade feel, but it's definitely higher efficiency than a lot of the gems that I've used. For me personally, are almost too mild, or not almost, they are too mild. Whereas this, I definitely find gets it done. Yeah, I did have to do a little bit of a cleanup pass, but the angle of the head angle is a tiny bit different, so getting used to the razor as well. It's only the second time I've used it, but very good efficiency, doesn't irritate my neck at all, and just really super fun to use. And you're using a razor that, again, this particular one is from 1928 to 35, so almost 100 years old. It's still in awesome shape, and a lot of fun with the cool gears and stuff on the side. It's super unique looking, and definitely a one-of-a-kind razor that's been around. They are a little bit head heavy. That'd be one thing that I noticed. The knurling on it's pretty good, but I wish it was just a little bit thicker handle. But overall, a lot of fun. Yeah, if you haven't tried one of these and you have some gem blades that you don't mind popping apart and messing with, I would say get a VC1 or a little bit older one, and then you can just modify the blades. If you don't mind and you want to maybe try one of those feather blades, then try one of those feather blades. You could go that route as well. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me, and go get yourself a Valet Auto Strop. Take care.